let me start off by thanking you all for coming here. You know, we've enjoyed our relationship with the RCA for many years, and we enjoy the fact that you're coming here and seeing a little piece of what we do and how we do it. Won't talk much about the company because, you know, we all do the same thing, right? We're just we chase the same clients, we do the same things, might do them in a little bit different way, but we all have fun doing it. But the biggest reason that I wanted everybody to come here into Detroit is the fact that to share a little bit of my passion, okay? And my passion has been for years about promoting more people, getting them into the trades, getting them in as superintendents, getting them in as project engineers, moving them up to project managers. I started in the field a long time ago, and I think it says it. Yeah, and it was BC. It was before Chuck. So, you know, so that's kind of how it worked, and I'll go with it. But I started in the trades, worked my way up through the trades. Eventually got into project management. Left the company I was with because for various reasons of what they did versus what I think is the right thing to do, and started working for Saxy 20 years ago. And in that 20 years, I've had several roles with the company. Mine right now, if you look at my business card, it's going to tell you I'm opportunity creator. Okay, which means I can be in BD, I can be in client services, I can help our operations team when necessary with one of our clients, be a client executive. But the big thing is that, you know, I've noticed over the years that we stopped promoting the trades, and when we stop promoting the trades, all of a sudden we don't have the people that we need to be able to run jobs. They don't have the experience. They don't know what they don't know. And everybody that comes out of college, and if any of you just came out of college, which maybe you did, I don't know, but anybody comes out of college seems to feel like that they need to move right into a position, and they move into that position without understanding everything that's involved in it. How you serve the client, how you actually build something, you know, how you put it together. And so we're very strong on, you know, on the community. Our social mission is all about how we serve the community, how we serve our youth in the city of Detroit and around the community, around the area. Our social mission is all about improving those young people's lives and everything that we can do along the way, whether it be helping their family. Detroit Boxing Gym is a prime example. You'll hear some more about that a little bit later on. You'll hear about how we get people in to start looking at possibly getting into the trades. And to me, it's something I've wanted to see happen for so long. And now I'm seeing it slowly start to materialize, but we all know that we could all use another 10, 15, 20 superintendents, and we wouldn't have turned down a lot of the work that we've turned down over the years, right? And then those people need to be trained in such a way as to where they can do the job and not hurt the reputation of the company that they're working for, and feel like that they're accomplishing something. You know, so many years we told people that they didn't go to college, they weren't anything, right? Now we need to try to build that back up. So my passion is, let's get people motivated. Let's find the ways, go to community colleges, wherever we have to go, but let's bring them together, and so that we all are successful. Because the Detroit market, I can tell you right now, we don't have nearly enough people. And I hear that from everybody around the country, but the Detroit market's it's always been one of the toughest to begin with, as far as getting tradespeople and getting the people to work. And it's really struggling right now. It's really affecting the things that could happen in the city. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jeffrey.
Actually, we're gonna move this podium back a little bit.
Sure.
Perfect.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. So I had a 5-minute introduction session here, all worked out and written out, and I left us on to the hotel room. So I'm gonna wing it here. But thank you, everyone. I want to welcome you to this event. Appreciate everyone who's come out and attending this. Just want to note right away that we have 8 member companies represented here today. So we have 86 current members. So we're looking at 10% of our membership represented at this event today. So thanks for everyone who's come out. These events are important. It's part of our mission with the membership committee, with the RCA, to engage and get members together. And so I appreciate everyone coming out. So my name is Jeff Mahler. I'm on with Honest Creative Architects, but I'm on the advisory board for the RCA and on the membership committee, along with Hunter Weeks and Denise. And in addition to getting new members and working on the member benefit programs, we have initiatives that we started in 2018. Took a little blip there for a few years, but with having these regional events. This is our 5th this year. And it's a give back to the members. And again, to get members together, provide opportunities to network and meet. In some of these cases, like this event, have what we call a knowledge share. So we have a great program lined up with some speakers on workforce development. Some of the other events are just social or an experience tour. So we've done, like I said, this is the 5th. We have one more coming up in a month from now out in LA. We're gonna do a tour of SoFi Stadium. So if anyone's interested out. Unfortunately, there's conflict schedule. I'm probably not gonna be able to go, but that was the intent to do that, but we'll be doing that. Then we'll be having our reception at the Centerville Conference for all the members. And then we are, as Eric knows, sent an email the other day, we're working on our 2024 schedule. So we're gonna have another great events next year. Just do want to acknowledge some of the board members, President Eric Hanley, RCA President Justin Elder, Vice President, and our 2 board members, like I said, Hunter Weeks and Denise DeLong. So, and Matt Frank is also on the membership committee. Matt does a good job in helping us with new members and some of these events too. So I also want to thank very much Sachse Construction's fantastic hospitality, great office. For a year, I've been hearing back from Denise how great office it was, and we were looking forward to seeing this place. So, and she wasn't wrong. This is fantastic. I didn't even do a tour yet. It looks great. Looking forward to seeing it. Thank you to Jill, who has led all the efforts here to pull everything together here and kind of just shepherded everything here. And I just kind of said what we were trying to do. She pulled it off, so I appreciate that. And Monica has been a great help too. And Chuck, who I think we met in Centerville in, if not 2018, 2019, with this idea of we want to have an event, we want to do it in your office. It only took 3 years, but we got here. I appreciate that. So, so like I said, we have a presentation now on workforce development. We have a few speakers, and I'll make sure I have the right order here. We're going to hear from Jill Brack with Saxy about the Sachse Construction Academy, followed by David Brown. Oh, sorry, David Brown, also on the RCA board. Sorry.
I was gonna let you know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you'll on the spotlight. You can call me out when you get up there.
I'm from a big family. You get lost.
David's going to talk about his kids building and women's building program, Wisconsin program. Denise Long is going to speak about her BX Builders Exchange program in Central Ohio. Jason Story with Home Depot, also a RCA sponsor. Thank you for that. He's going to talk to the Path to Pro program that Home Depot has. And if anyone doesn't know about that, after this session, you'll get a great resource to take a look at on their website. And then our last speaker will be Jason Barnett with the Motor City Contractor Fund, who runs a great program here in Detroit. So great content coming up on workforce development. Hope everyone get something out of it, and then we'll have a reception afterwards and do some more networking. Appreciate everyone coming out. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jim.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sachse Construction. It's a pleasure to be here to talk to you about the Sachse Construction Academy. This initiative is a passion of mine personally, but also everyone that works at Sachse Construction, and it's an honor to tell you a little bit about it. So first of all, I'm Jill Brock. I'm the Vice President of Engagement here at Sachse Construction. And a fun fact, I don't know anything about construction. I come from a film production background and an event production background. And my role is basically to engage with all of Sachse's stakeholders. So whether it's the clients, whether it's our team members, or whether it's the Detroit community at large, we put programs into place to connect kind of all of those dots and keep Saxy in the forefront of Detroit. So the history of the Construction Academy is really interesting. Back in 2016, before I came on board, it was Saxy's 25th anniversary. And the story goes, a committee was formed. And this committee was brought together to figure out what should we do for Saxy's 25th anniversary. And some people said, let's have a big party. And someone said, let's bring Rihanna here. And somebody said, why don't we do a program to really give back to the community, specifically provide workforce development opportunities to students that live in Detroit. And everyone was like, wow, that's a great idea, but how do we do it? And the committee came up with the Sachse Construction Academy, and this will be our 8th year running the program. So the program runs, it started off one time a year, an annual fall academy with 500 students. Since then, it's turned into a twice-a-year event. In the spring, we host a big academy with 500 Detroit high school students. And in the fall, if we have a project, a Detroit-based job site, we want to bring in a group of students they're thinking about careers in the skilled trades and bring them through an intensive program. So this is actually happening on October 12th, 2 weeks from today, well, 2 weeks from this week. We are bringing 50 Detroit high school students into a job site in Southwest Detroit. We're closing down the job site, and the trade partners are going to be taking the students through each one of their specific trades. So we're going to have a carpentry mod, we're going to have a plumbing mod, an HVAC mod, and the kids are going to be able to hands-on be a part of building this building. And we're super excited about it. The developer, Cliff Brown, is a partner of ours, and he's really excited about it. The mayor will be there. So it's a pretty important event for these students. We couldn't do this alone. It's a huge lift. We have partners. Junior Achievement is our main partner. They bring the students. So Junior Achievement has relationships with Detroit Public Schools, and we really rely on them to bring the students. Second of all, our trade partners. When we approach our trade partners, 50 of them for the big program, and ask them, hey, can you give up a day and come to Eastern Market, which is a big shed in central Detroit, and put on a hands-on demo for 200 kids that are going to be passing through your module? These trade partners raise their hand, they're ready, willing, and able. They create the most interactive mods. And this program, it's Saxy's Give Back program, but the trade partners have made it their own. Every year, they're so excited to be a part of this. And then our third partnership is with the volunteers. A program with 500 Detroit high school students can't happen without hundreds of volunteers day of. So we rely on Sachse Construction. We rely on our sister companies throughout Detroit. We have Rocket there, we have Ford there, we have DTE there. And it's a great day. It's really turned into a fun annual event for everybody. So how does it work? Danielle has the program up. The students arrive on buses, sometimes from 15 different schools. In the smaller program, they'll be coming from 3 different schools. And they gather together, and we have a program, a small talking program to kind of get them interested in what's going to happen for the day. Then we have a safety briefing. They all get their PPE, and then they rotate through each one of the different mods. The challenge for us is metrics. How do we measure success when these kids leave the program? How do we know whether or not they're going to pursue a job in the skilled trades? Unfortunately, we can't get information from minors. So we can't get their emails, we can't get their phone numbers. But we came up with kind of a bit of a workaround. And at the end of the program, we ask each student to fill out 2 simple questions. Before you came to the Sachse Construction Academy, did you consider a job in the skilled trades? Yes or no? After the Sachse Construction Academy, would you consider a job in the skilled trades? And the information we received blew us away. We track this every year from 2016. It's remarkable to see the amount, maybe 40% of the kids one year thought, okay, maybe I'd be interested. After the day, 88%, 92%. So that's kind of our metric point to see how the program is going. And we found some kids that in meeting with our trade partners, that they've actually come on board and started working with our trade partners. So the impact, thanks Danielle, up on the screen, in the course of 7 years, we have hosted 5,500 students, 550 trade partners, 120 vocational schools, and 2,500 volunteers. It's been an amazing program, but I can keep talking all day. I think the best way to really show you how it works is to show you a quick video. So we have a video from our big program. This is last fall at Easter Market.
I want to welcome each and every one of you all here for the Sachse Construction Academy.
But people ask all the time, why are we here? It's about opportunity. We are committed and convinced that if we can show men and women opportunities, then we are going to create a path that you can choose.
By the show of hands, would love to buy your mom or your grandparents a big old house one day. Your dream house, look around everybody. Now, what if I told you that if you learned a skill or a trade, it can change the trajectory of your life to do so?
Today is your opportunity to really pay attention. Have an opportunity to meet all of these people at the different tables.
You never know which one of these people in this room is going to be the connecting dot to everything you ever dreamed of.
You can take these skills all over the world. And that's really the work of Junior Achievement.
In this room alone, with these 40 companies, there's 1,350 jobs available today. So talk about opportunity. That's just in this room.
Many of you may have experienced skilled trades for the first time today, but I gotta tell you, you heard there are 1,300 jobs available in this room, but we've got 5,000 jobs available in the city.
This is what it's about right here. The city of Detroit is building. Everything that you see is put together by somebody with the skilled trades.
Every day that you wake up, you have an opportunity to change the trajectory of your life. And in this moment, this is your opportunity.
That's the Saxse Construction Academy. Before I open it up to any questions, I want to introduce everybody to Todd Saxy.
Roofers are furious about this new.
Who really supports this wholeheartedly, and you know, if it wasn't for him and his vision, this really wouldn't be happening. Questions?
I got one.
Sure.
How are the students identified, or how are they given this opportunity to, like, how do they know about it, or how do you choose schools that you're, how do you get the word out about it?
That's a great question. So part of our social mission, and Chuck Hunley talked about it, we're Detroit centric. So these students must be located in Detroit. So that's kind of the first check. Junior Achievement has relationships with all of the schools, and they go into the teachers, into the classrooms, and try to narrow it down as much as possible. Which kids might be the right fit to come to a skilled trades academy. And that's pretty much how it works. For this big, large event that you saw, when we do a smaller program at a job site, these students are specifically identified as wanting to have a career in the skilled trades.
So this is primarily 7th grade up?
It's primarily high school, so it's 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th.
Mostly juniors and seniors.
Juniors and seniors.
Most of them are juniors. We really don't really want them younger than that.
First year you did this for their, some unexpected hardships or kind of roadblocks that maybe you could share?
Well, I was lucky because I came in the second year, so they made all their mistakes in 2016, and I walked in the door and just perfected it. I mean, every year, after every program that we produce, we have a meeting called an AAR, an after action review. And the group that was responsible for the meeting get together, and we pretty much just tear it apart, and we figure out how we can make it better next year. And every year, the program has gotten better and better because of things that we just identified.
A couple of nuances just to share. Every kid leaves with a packet. And inside that packet is a sheet of paper with every single skill trade. 34, you want to be a pipe fitter, you want to be a tile setter, you want to be an electrician. And on that piece of paper, it's like little instructions in big bold. Call this phone number, ask for Stacy, go to this website, so on and so forth. So literally they walk out and say, if I want to become an electrician, here's what I got to do. So literally, and they get a package of every single skilled trade and exactly where to go. And we have the unions there, we have trade schools there, so on and so forth, but they really walk out of there with a pass, so they don't have to remember anything. That's what they have to do. Right there in front of them.
And strategically, we wanted to be on paper, so when they bring it home, the parents can see it too. The parents can kind of look through it.
Are there like multiple like vocational schools then that you guys partner with too, to give the kids like an opportunity to know like, hey, if I wanna go and get training for this, and then you guys also try to target like multiple different subcontractors each year too, so they have like a really broad.
So to answer the second question first, we're always working with different trade partners.
Right.
So we always give the opportunity to the trade partners that we're working with at the time. But we have some OGs, some trade partners that have been with us from the beginning that love coming back, and that's absolutely incredible. And the vocational schools, we invite as many vocational schools that can come. And it's an opportunity for the kids to go and ask questions and figure out what that path looks like. But the most important thing is on the piece of paper that Todd talked to you about, because it really does have, here's how you get started. Just call this number and ask for this person.
And I know you said it's hard to track the effect of it, but with them being juniors and seniors, you kind of mentioned that you had subcontractors that people would show back up on your jobs. Have you had subcontractors that said, hey, I've gotten so many calls and stuff like that over the years? I mean,
not so many calls, but we've gotten feedback from the trade partners. Hey, I hired someone that was at the Sachse Construction Academy, which is really great.
We've had students come back that have been hired into the trades, and they typically will speak or wander around the room and encourage other people to join. It's kind of infectious once it starts. You get a couple of people to come back and talk about it, then it just continues to build.
they can relate to things that people closer to their age, right?
Right, and if you look at somebody like Jill, she doesn't believe in roadblocks, okay? Let's just figure it out. Let's just get around it and figure it out. That's the attitude you have to take with it.
Tom, are you signatory here in Detroit? And if so, does that drive where these guys go and how you handle the students?
So what's the question?
Are you signatory here in Detroit?
No, we're not sanitary.
No.
All right, I want to be mindful of the time to make sure everyone has an opportunity to speak. Thank you very much. But before I leave, I want to call out Danielle Gregerson. She heads up our marketing department. And when you see the video, when you see the beautiful marketing assets, the videos, the website, everything that we do at Saxy, we produce in-house, and our marketing department does a fantastic job. So thank you.
I'm next.
Don't forget me forgotten.
I won't let them forget later. I'm Dave Brown, I'm with Tri-North Builders. A lot of you guys in here know of Tri-North Builders, you know what we do. We are similar to all the rest of the competition that's sitting in this room, if you will. A little bit about myself. I'm actually a carpenter by trade, came out of high school. I got into a local school, I had finished a drafting degree, and I thought, what the hell am I doing with a drafting degree? It doesn't pay shit. And my dad's always been a part of construction. He's a lead estimator his entire life. And he said, why don't you get into an apprenticeship? So at the same time I went into the apprenticeship, I finished it up. And in my third year of apprenticeship, Tri-North found me, I found them through a friend of mine. And this has lasted 34 years. So my goal is, as I developed from the apprenticeship through foreman, through superintendent, and at the same time, as every other company in here probably does, I went back to school and I finished my project management degree. And I went into PM, estimating, and just kept moving forward. Some of the strengths and weaknesses that I carry, I developed and pushed throughout the company to get the youth in. So one of my—
A company, abbreviated as company.
That one's
Skynet, we're all
I like to move around. And see you all the time, but some of the items that I've been a part of the RCA, I'm also a part of the State of Wisconsin Apprenticeship Board. So I see kids come through and I promote it heavily for the carpenters. And I have a gentleman named Chris Benish, you'll see in one of these pictures, he actually leads up part of the committee as well right now. So we push it hard. Where we found some differences in how I grew up and how the kids are now is, I remember when I was in high school, we were approached by people from the industry to expose it to you, to show you what construction was all about. And quite honestly, I was extremely disappointed when I got out of college, if you will, still working for Trinorth, and I knocked on my high school I graduated with, and they wouldn't let me in. Construction's bad apple. Parents didn't want people going into construction. Why? What's wrong with it? It's a good trade. It's a great industry. There's so many things you can do with the trades from what you've developed from the trades. I mean, think of the skill sets you get from people in the trades and how you can take it into and work with people in the offices. So I was quite frankly disgusted at it. I mean, literally turned away by more than one high school. No, we don't want you in here. And you just find out that it's a big push towards the college. Well, college is fine, but it's not for everybody. So I pushed and pushed and pushed and got denied probably 9 out of 10 times. It was actually very frustrating. And all I was trying to do is expose what I've done to see if others want to do that. Then we started talking internally what we want to do at Trinorth to promote the industry and what the young people want to see. We actually felt that freshmen to high school, it was difficult to get their attention. So we turned it into Kids Building Wisconsin. I'm kind of skipped through this because everybody knows us, so I thought we'd have more than just a lot of the RCA members here. So we turned it into Kids Building Wisconsin. And it's also, I'm gonna slip back here a little bit. It started out 10 years ago, and it started out about a couple hundred kids. And it literally, we brought in all our subs and suppliers. We brought in competition that we bid against and work against. And we set this park up, and we had cranes there, we had lifts there, and we had building blocks and demo blocks and all this stuff just to attract attention to the industry, to kids that are literally 8 years old to just going into high school. What's in there? And we had every type of person from plumbing to masons, you know, to expose the industry to them. It's over 8,000 kids that come. It's the first Saturday of May. We've got over 500 people that have to be there that day to run this. We've outgrown the park. We're looking for a different place. Robert and their staff, and there's on the committee, I don't even know anymore, I'd have to say 20 people on this committee, set this thing up, and it is a big deal. How we're measuring it is every parent registers, and we get to see where the kids are going to school. And hopefully we get some of these people to say, the industry's a fun place. And we're setting this up to be fun, you know, not to be stressful. It's a different way of looking at it, because there's so much stress when you get in, when a kid gets into freshman, sophomore, junior in high school, there's decisions that have to be made. You know, am I going to college? What's my SAT score is gonna be? Do I even want to take that damn test? There's options out there. So to make the industry more, as we call it in the southern Wisconsin area, we feel it's got a black eye, and it shouldn't. I mean, there's some beautiful, I was driving down Detroit here in the local areas. You can tell it's been rebuilt, etc. It's nice. These are great projects. So we're a national contractor like a lot of you guys are, but we're trying to push locally how to make it more interesting. And this is our way, and it's been very successful. And we've got a lot of people year after year that immediately sign up for next year. And we're starting to see parents coming back, and their kids are now not coming back. So we find it to be successful.
How's it advertised? Did you already say that?
We do the local area for advertisements, but basically it's all word of mouth now.
Really?
Yep. I mean, our website has it on it, and our subcontractors' websites, etc. We're spreading it that way.
How many kids did you say came?
Over 8,000, 8,200 this year.
How many when you first started? It's like, what?
Like a couple hundred.
First couple hundred and just.
Couple hundred, yeah. Yep. And it takes us 2 days to set this park up. A couple days to take it down. It's a.
And AGC is actually the lead?
No, Trinorth started this whole thing.
Okay, so you guys
And
started
we,
it.
yeah, and we brought all of these partners in.
Okay.
And it's just kept growing and growing and growing.
So you're looking for a new space now, so do you expect more and more each year?
Yes, we are.
Did you do this one in
That's
Madison?
one of our goals, is to outgrow this park.
Is that in Madison?
Yeah, Pittsburgh, which is a suburb of Madison, so, yeah, just down from our office, a mile down from our office, so.
Just a thought, you know, you guys are all, most of our RCA members or local contractors, since it's your baby that you created. So I'm gonna plant the seed for all you. Dave, of course, I'm Commercial Construction Magazine, Commercial Construction Family, that you should go to Kids Building Wisconsin, to RCA Kid, you know, something like RCA Building America.
Yeah.
That way you, because you're all over the country, I'm just telling you, because I know there's some of the upper board members of the RCA, but you could take that and step on what you built. You have the foundation, you have the blueprint. You guys could all do this in different chapters around the country. I work with Rock the Trades and a couple other people because I'm all about getting youth. I think you have to get into the middle school level and plant the seed earlier. Then once they get into high school, they think, oh, I need to go to Duke. I need to go here. And they get that mindset. You can catch them between 5th and 8th grade. If you get, when they do career day, they get the fireman, you have the contractor come in there, the electrician, the mason guy, whatever, that you can plant that seed early enough, you can catch a couple of them that they don't even think about it. Like my son, he went to aircraft mechanic school, and you know, they had a shop class, they wouldn't let him in there. So we yanked him out his senior year, and he did online, but he worked in the local garage and this, and he got into the aviation school. Now he's a Boeing on the flight line, working on $350 million planes, but he does welding, you know, sheet metal, woodwork, all of that stuff. But I think you should take that Kids Building America and make it RCA Building America and have all of the chapters go in there, just as a thought. I'm throwing that out there. You can steal it. Go for it.
Well, I guess one of what I'm trying to say here is this is Kids Building Wisconsin, how I'm gonna throw it back on you guys. How can you take something like this and put it into Kids Building Illinois, Kids Building, et cetera, et cetera? And it might not be this big, it might grow into something like this, but it's our responsibility to pass this on. And that's one thing that I was given through the 3 owners of Tri-North is we got a responsibility at a certain age, all of us in here, we're all young, right? At a certain age, we've got to pass this back on. So how are you doing it? You know, are you mentoring someone? I hope so. You know, are you giving what you've been given back? I hope so. But we still have to tap into another source that is scared when they get into high school. And that's kids. And kids find everything fun. I mean, we freak out about deadlines and we're client-driven deadlines, every one of us. So if you can make this somehow fun.
You know, what's interesting though, compared to what Saxy event is, which I agree, right, the younger, the better. But what's so impactful is that you have all these kids that are undecided and they're ready to make a move. So you hit them when they don't know what they're gonna do, and then you give them direct contacts to go to. Is, because I always thought younger, but I think that this idea also would really capture a lot of people that are undecided and don't know what that next step is.
The key is you just have to expose this, you know, and I don't know what you guys run into for high schools. I mean, we had shop class, they got rid of it at high school. This is ridiculous, in my opinion. You know, people need to be exposed to a drill, a hammer, 2x4, whatever it may be, you know.
And to that point, it's being exposed many times along the way.
Yeah.
One event's may not change their life, but if you do it multiple points along the way in the education, it reinforces it.
Don't make it scary, make it fun.
Well, I love the fact that the parents are there.
Yeah,
That's key.
Yeah, it's chaotic.
That's key.
At times it's entertaining, and we've been blessed. I think out of this 10 years, we've only had one tough year weather-wise, and so we anticipated it. So one of our local landscapers actually dumped bark all over the joint, and you can keep people there. They get muddy.
Do you like give them also?
A whole packet.
Does it have
It's
like?
got a
wages
T-shirt,
so that-
Kids Building Wisconsin. One year we did the hard hats, Kids Building Wisconsin.
But I mean, like that shows the parents like the wages and how many jobs are open.
We don't do that at that one because it's more to expose it to children or kids. I do that. And actually, once I started getting into high schools, the teachers didn't believe me. They didn't believe when I showed the benefit packages. They were shocked.
So did the teachers start?
Yeah,
reaching out to you?
What's the age group for your event?
5 years old all the way up until freshmen. I mean, we still have freshmen, you know, still high school kids here, but that's kind of our goal. That's what we looked at. We felt that when they got into high school, you know, they were there's just too much pressure, we felt. So let's just try to make it fun and expose it to them. Another thing that we started 2 years ago is She Built Wisconsin. Anna, who is a vice president of Tri-North, is pushing this, and it's working well. We have clinics that we set up, and we're trying to gather another dynamic and try to get the females involved. We have 5 female superintendents. They've been, Trish has been with us for 21 years. We came through the trades as well. So we promote within, and we're trying to push it in every way we can.
Where's the funding come from? You pay for everything? So what's your annual cost? You're on a pot.
Well, the Kids Building Wisconsin, I'd have to get back to you on that, because now we have all of our competition that has found this Kids Building Wisconsin very intriguing. So we have Findorf there, which is a $1 billion company, Stevens Construction, they're close to a $1 billion company, Myron, all these guys are actually splitting the cost now. A lot of it's, all of our crane and our aerial lifts, they're all companies that bring it in. You know, I'd be shocked if it's a huge expense. Park is donated by Fitchburg. They're saying, yes, you can use it. So that's what Tri-North's doing. And we're pushing in every direction we can, and we are going to continue to push it, and we find it very successful.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
All that great stuff. So I just wanted to talk about a couple, I'm from Columbus, Ohio, and we do our work nationally, so we actually don't do a lot of work in Columbus, but what I have found, if you're gonna get involved with workforce, it needs to be local. So even though we don't have a lot of Columbus work, my passion is Columbus and starting to get involved, but I'm sure you guys have all heard Columbus in the news with, the data centers and Google and Meta and Honda. I mean, you're talking about thousands and thousands of jobs, and believe it or not, Columbus has not come together as a community yet. And so there's a couple of initiatives, newer initiatives that are happening that I'm starting to see some signs where people are starting to collaborate. And that's really what we need in our region. I think they were talking about, there was one job that was gonna be like 7,000 electricians for a decade. Right? Think about that, 7,000 electricians for a decade, and we don't have enough electricians now. But, so our Builders Exchange is a wonderful organization in Columbus, and the foundation, the Builders Exchange Foundation, funded a workforce development position. This has only been a little over a year, and the reason why they did that is because there's lots of schools in the community, of course, many employers, other people outside of schools, with career development, Ohio funded career development, and what they wanted, they knew that everybody's trying to do their own thing, and how do you bring them together? And so this person is on a mission right now to basically, we formed a workforce development committee, and the person goes out and meets with the people that need people, and then also the training, all the providers, and then bringing it back to the Builders Exchange. And what our hopes are is that we can come together as a group and start going to some of these people as a group. And so I think that's something new. Again, new, I don't know what the measurements are gonna be, but definitely a good initiative in the area. And the other one I wanna talk about is CoCap. Do you have the next slide, please go to? This is Central Ohio Construction Accelerator Partnership. Next one, please. There you go. Very busy slide, now everybody's gonna look at it. But this was kind of Google's brainchild. And so same thing, we've got these employers coming in and they don't have enough workers to build their facilities. So they're starting to get interested. So some of this is through grant, money, but it's gonna move over to private donations to keep this thing going, but there's a big diversity, spin to this, but it's moved from diversity to, hey, we need a workforce. So what this organization is doing is bringing together, all of the, people that need, all the sub-base, all the general contractors, anybody that needs an employee with the people that are training and developing. So they've got an online system where basically they want all construction jobs that are available in Central Ohio, they want in this organization. So basically, anybody that's looking for a job in construction could go here and see that. And part of it is because Columbus is a huge city, everything's disjointed. So think about if you want to come to Columbus or in Columbus and you want to work in construction, where do you even start? You know, like what Jill said, yeah, you've got that nice little flyer where you can see where to go to, but we don't have anything like that in Central Ohio. So anyway, so this to me is a little over a year old, again, very new, but they're talking about one workforce, right? One construction workforce. So how do we bring the Turners, the big companies together and create this one workforce? So fascinating. I think it's something to watch and to monitor because this is something new and something I haven't heard of in other areas, and they're just trying to get everybody involved and everybody to support it, so new. I just wanted to show those kind of newer initiatives. Anybody have any questions about them?
The builders exchange, how
Yeah.
many years is that? Couple years?
A little over a year.
So that's over a year ago.
Yeah.
Have you utilized that yourself?
Yeah, and I'm actually on the committee, and so like, for example, what we just did was, created, because if you see, we're trying to find measurements for this person, because also where you're funded an expensive position to do this, right? And so we're just now in the stage of, so he's basically gone out and developed relationships. It's almost like a business development job, develop relationships with all of these different training locations, because there's so many of them. And now we're starting to pull that all together. So that way the members will have access to a list of all the training that's going on in Central Ohio, because it's a very, talking about all the counties too. But who's all the different training providers and who do you connect and how do you connect with them?
So those are like certifying training type institutes or
Exactly.
entities.
Yeah, exactly.
How many members do you have so far, or around?
I don't know. In the Builders Exchange? Yeah. I don't remember. I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot, but I don't remember what the number is. It's a very active Builders Exchange. Anybody else have any questions? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. My name is Jason with Home Depot National Accounts. So I just kind of wanted to go over the Home Depot program. If you're not familiar with Path to Pro, what it encompasses and what we're doing, it's kind of a grassroots campaign that's continuing to grow. So on our website, you can see Path to Pro. Not only is it a website, but it's a functioning team that goes out into the field to help with training of the youth and multiple other groups. So the purpose for this Home Depot and Home Depot Foundation is committed to educating more people for skilled trades. We recognize that there's a shortfall. All of our customers' issues are our issues. So we're trying to get involved with this with both military programs, high school and youth programs, scholarship programs, and academy programs. So these are some of the statistics that are in there. There's over 300,000, I think that number is actually increased. Right now, 300,000 US wide of unfilled skilled trades currently right now, and that's supposed to exponentially grow. So Home Depot launched the Path to Pro in 2018 with a $50 million commitment to skilled trades. Home Depot partners with Home Depot Institute. We're working on military bases. So currently, I think we have 11 military bases that we have a 12-week free program on the military site for those being released and separating from the military for a free training program that's both PACT and OSHA 10 certification. Home Depot does have its own scholarship program. And we go to a lot of these events and they're very emotionally driven. I just came from Atlanta. The Arthur Blank Foundation partners with a program called West Side Works. And they have a graduation that we're going to next month. But just seeing that program, watching those people graduate and being able to go out into a skilled trade is very emotional. On the website, our website is basically LinkedIn for the trades. So you can both post and you can be a candidate and you can post your skills on there to connect with the job. So you can train under industry experts. You can discover jobs that best suit you. Maybe you weren't thinking about being an electrician, but there's a lot in your area that you can, train how to grow your future career. There's a lot of programs on the website that help candidates grow themselves. Get resume and interview assistance within the website and learn safety standards and material handling. There's technical coaches that we're partnering with and an earn while you learn program. For those programs, what you basically need is a valid driver's license, 18 years or older. You have to have a computer with reliable internet skills because it's all web-based. No experience necessary. And this is what you can expect. Benefits from working with skilled trades, how to get started in the trades. And then the Path to Pro Network, once you graduate, you can take those skills, post it on your own page on Path to Pro. And then you as job posters can go on there, you can filter, and you can see Jason's looking for a job within 75 miles. Here are my skills that I've gotten through Home Depot or other skills that I can post on there. And then you can search for candidates in your area. It's pretty basic, whether you go through the Home Depot or your Pro Extra account. Posting a job is very simple. You go on the website, you post a job. We're rolled out on all 50 states now. We had to wait till we had so many candidates in every region to roll out the website. So we're fully rolled out to all 50 states. So there's candidates in every region that are on this program. You can go through either homedepot.com or the Pro Extra account and post your jobs right here. You can have a dashboard that the candidates that you like, you can click, you can set up interviews with them. You can message them directly if you want them to post for your job, or you can see who's posted for your job. This just gives you a kind of a website of where it's at within the Pro Extra account. It's under Pro Extra Benefits and it's called Path to Pro Network. And it's pretty basic when you get on there. It looks just like LinkedIn, it's just orange. And it's for trades. So it's starting to be very popular. Every one of the networks that we work with, the number one things is finding skilled people. And I think we actually talked to Jeff about getting you guys with our team to develop something like a superintendent focus. What do you need to have a superintendent? What skills do you want them to have? So we can build that program within ourselves and then help you guys develop those candidates to become qualified superintendents. And like I said, you'll have a dashboard on your Pro Extra account. Everybody that's in the national account has access to this program. It's free. It's both free for the candidates and for you guys. So you can post your jobs and have your dashboard. And then you can, like I said, post your jobs and then search for candidates in your area. So this is my information. I'm not 100% expert on it, but I can get you in contact with our Path to Pro team, working in the industry with youth programs, high school programs, military programs. So if anybody has any further follow-up, you can get with me and we can help you with that.
Our final speaker, Jason Barnett.
I don't know how I follow those three great programs. I'm not a Midwest program, I'm just a local program. And so a little bit about myself, Jason Barnett, I'm a Senior Vice President for 𝐔𝐘𝐒. I've been with the organization for about 7 years now. History in commercial banking, always on the commercial side. I've worked for large banks, Midwest banks, regional banks. And so Motor City Contractor Fund, I'm one of the co-designers of this fund. It's been a road, I'll say it that way. We've been at it for about 3 years, working to develop this fund. And by a show of hands, have anybody ever heard of the Motor City Contractor Fund? Okay, great. So I won't be before you long, but I'll just ensure that you have a better understanding. You have the website there. I have a PowerPoint, but I didn't want to bore you with that. So the Motor City Contractor Fund is a fund that we developed. And when I say we, it was funded by Gilbert Family Foundation. They put up the initial $10 million to fund the program. And we came together with some other organizations in the city of Detroit to create the Motor City Contractor Fund. With the fund, the purpose of the fund is to help Black and brown developers in the city. They don't have to be headquartered in the city, but as long as they're doing the bulk of their work in the city, we wanted to help them. We noticed that they had a lack of funding within their realm of business. They would always work on one job at a time. And so what we wanted to do through our Q&A is to develop something that not only capitalizes them, but also educate them. And so we created a pilot program that we launched last April. It just ended this past April. So it launched in 2022, ended April of 2023. And so what we wanted to do, we brought in 25 contractors of various disciplines, and we wanted to bring them in to educate them. So the model is educate them to capital. Some of them received capital and some of them just wanted the education. And so how we structured it, we brought in industry experts throughout bonding and insurances and all those different things to create modules for them to watch in their spare time to just learn more about what it is that they were lacking. And so, but we also paired them with mentors throughout the metropolitan Detroit area to come in and help train them in various areas. And so here you'll see these are the participating lenders, and I'll get to that in a second. And so once we took them through this cohort and trained them, and they would meet week in and week out to learn more about their craft, these contractors were what we call emerging. They had contracts either with DTE, the city, some bigger contracts. So most of them were in that mid 6 figures to high 7-figure range. So these are not like starter contractors. And so we wanted to just scale them so that they can work on multiple projects at a time and not one at a time. And so with the education, we reached out to the contractors and asked who wanted to be funded. And so the ultimate goal was to give them access to capital up to $300,000 to work on multiple projects at a time. And so we would pair the capital with the contracts that they already had in place. And so in doing that, we also created a platform where the contractors would interact, they would share jobs with each other. If someone reached out to me to post jobs, we would take those jobs and post them on our platform as well. And so in doing that, at the end, they would apply to one of the 4 CDFIs. If you scroll back down there, the 4 CDFIs, those are the co-creators. I thought we had the CDFIs on there. So the Community Development Financial Institution, there it is right there. Thank you. These are the 4 CDFIs that wanted to be a part of the lending, and you can see Invest Detroit on there. That's the purpose of me being here and being a co-creator, but I'm also the interim program manager as well. So at the end of the cohort, 14 of the contracts out of the 25 wanted lending. And so we paired them with the 4 lenders there to get them the capital that they needed to fund their projects. And so we've been able to get them through the pipeline and get them funded. And so they're off and running. And so we feel like the initial cohort was very successful, just starting with the 25. But from a future perspective, now we're in efficiency mode. So we're looking at ways to revamp the program, the cohort, in order to make the capital at the forefront, because we had it in the middle during the 12-month exercise of the cohort. So now we're going to bring capital to the front And what we're doing now is we're raising $30 million. And so I was just on a call earlier today with our stakeholders. So we have so many different banking institutions or financial institutions, various foundations that we work with as well. And so Rocket Community Fund was the one that led the charge, and then Gilbert Family Foundation took over. And they're one of our lead funders because they really believe in the workforce development aspect of it. And they also want to scale these businesses within their own discipline. And so the goal going forward is to launch the new fund in the first quarter of 2024. So what we're doing now, we're going through and we're revamping everything, and we're about to put out a RFP because I'm only interim. So I want to stay on the lending side. So we're bringing someone in to do all the programmatic work and then launch this fund. So we're going to go out to the community and the stakeholder event that I was at earlier today. The buzz is there for those that want to participate. So we're not going to have an issue raising the funds. It's really touching the contractor. So we have a pipeline of about 79 contractors that wanted to be in the cohort but didn't get approved or accepted into the cohort. And so what we're trying to do over the next 3 years is to touch at least 200 contractors. And so on average, each one of them came back for lending on average, we're at about 245,000 for the loans that we've been able to disperse thus far. We'll be in that 23 to $30 million range. And so over the next 3 years, and those that have gone through the cohort are able to come back and get continual lending. Because what we're trying to do is really scale them. CDFIs are temporary. We're trying to get them to the permanent capital that they're able to access on a working capital basis, on a go-forward basis. And so that's the ultimate goal of the fund. And in addition to that, as I mentioned earlier, the platform that we built out for them where they could communicate, we get jobs coming in from all over the city of Detroit, private contractors that's doing developments all throughout the city. So they reach out and say, hey, I need 10 plumbers or 5 plumbers or whatever that is. They send us the packet. We post it on our portal. The contractors are able to bid on that. And we've seen them get a lot of work just from the word of mouth that has been going on with the Motor City Contractor Fund. So I don't know if I'm at time, but just wanted to give you an overview of what the Motor City Contractor Fund is and what we're building and what we've been able to accomplish thus far. And if you have any, I'll stay after for any questions, but if you have any jobs or any way that you want to mentor or help some of these emerging contractors, we're open for jobs for them, mentors, whatever we can pour into them. We're just trying to keep them educated, keep them scaling and growing to that next level. So that's Motor City Contractor Fund in a nutshell.
So we're about probably 10 minutes ahead of the schedule. I'm sure everyone won't mind getting to some refreshments 10 minutes early, but we did allocate some time here at the end for just general discussion, just further questions for any of the presenters to try and now that everyone's heard everything and do a little interactive talk here. But I just also wanted to mention that again, one of the, being on the membership committee of the RCA, people, what are the benefits and one of the things I try, and it's hard to capture when I'm speaking to potential prospect members, but it's the camaraderie, it's the knowledge sharing, it's the help everyone in the room. It's a great group of contractors, and this is one of those sessions and one of those things that we really would want to. And what kind of spurred this when we started talking about 3 years ago was that is a great construction academy program. And imagine if all 85 members in the RCA did that to some form, probably never going to replicate it, but even if in some form you did that across the country, what kind of impact did that have? And so we said, well, how do we get the other members to know about how to do this? And that was sort of what spurred this. And again, that's why we brought this session together, is to have everyone here, anyone who's watching on Zoom. We are going to take this recording and put it on the RCA website. We're going to try and encourage every member to look at it, because again, I go to the board meetings. I'm not a contractor, but I go to the board meetings and I hear, all we hear about is the lack of people to come work in the trades, and the superintendents are aging out, and where are we getting subs? And it's, it's a problem that we can only probably fix within ourselves here. And if it starts with these 3 companies that talk about their program and then spreads to the other 85 RCA companies, and it can go, that's really, to me, that's what the RCA is about, bringing that knowledge sharing and that ideas and benefits to other members. So it's been fantastic, a great presentation by everyone. And again, we have 20, 25 minutes or however long we want here, or if everyone's ready to go get refreshments. But I think it would be great to have, any further discussions, any questions, interaction.
Jeff, just to add to that. The challenge to all of us around here, as far as contractors or developers or whatever you may have here, is not necessarily to have something big, but is to pass it down. So a mentorship or something that you can produce from your company that affects 3 to 5 people and let it grow, that's great. We didn't anticipate 8,000 people, but we did anticipate annually running this. And we've got 12 members on this committee that are all competition of ours that have the same problem, and there are solutions to it. So communities build a lot better if you work together.
So Dave, if I might, that's one thing Jeff touched on. One of the things I wanted to take away, and I hope most of our members do take away, is how can we replicate these programs even just as a spark in our local communities? So I kind of want to ask what your first year was like. So when you had this conceptual and decided to do this, was it just Tri-North and some of your subs and said, hey, we're going to get it?
That's exactly.
We're just going to do it, and then it kind of caught.
That's exactly what it was. And then there was a group of us at the office that thought, well, what age group are we trying to attract? And to expand on what I felt was, if you couldn't get in the door of your high school, can I get into any school? Well, who are you really trying to influence? It's the child, but also if you can convince the parents that this is a good industry. I mean, the example I gave you guys of exposing the benefit packages and the salary a person or the hourly rate you can make to these teachers, it imploded. They didn't realize that, and I have had a couple teachers to this day that ask for the current rates. So it's out there. It's just a matter of, like I've told people, I had more doors shut on me because the industry is not worthy of, what they're teaching. I don't care. It's how we have to expose this construction industry to everybody. And we started with a bunch of fake blocks that kids would come in and knock down. Cranes going up and down, lifts going up and down. Whatever it took to entertain that child for the day, the parents were there and they were listening. Because questions come from parents. That's how we started it. And it just kept growing. Now it's about $45,000 to $60,000. I just checked with Robert to run that annually, what we do. And it's all donations from all companies, including ours. That's
Total, or that's your portion?
No, that's total, about $45,000 to $60,000, depending on what we're doing.
And now you share it amongst
Oh, yeah.
a bigger group.
Yeah, somebody will say, I'm bringing this, I'm bringing that. There's a value to that. So, and then we buy stuff that gets split up.
So first, I want to say thank you to everybody, Jeff, and everybody that participated in speaking and educating us today. It's been really, really good, so appreciate it. To touch on what Dave said earlier, what you said earlier, the whole mission of the RCA is to elevate the industry, work together to make it better. And while we compete, down here at a level with, for business at times, the more we can work together to solve big problems, the easier it's going to be. So we do have a workforce development committee for those of you that do not know that. And this is a topic that's discussed at every board meeting ad nauseum. Dave, brought a lot of insight to it. That's why we're having this today. And the whole goal is to try to develop a roadmap for all the member companies to repeat this in some way, shape, or form, whether it's at a real infantile level of 1 or 2 people, or just hiring interns from high schools, to maybe regionally or 4 or 5 companies that are in the same region come combine resources and do it together, and then ultimately, you know, have it as a tool for the RCA to recruit the members and to recruit the industry. So thanks for everybody that participated.
And going on what Eric said, I'm on the workforce development committee. We could use more people. It's a new committee this year that just got formed. It was kind of put together, just like what Eric said. I mean, this has been a big topic that we've all been talking about for a long time, and obviously, just based on what we're seeing here, there's a lot of fantastic ideas and things that everybody can start doing to work on it. But we could definitely, if anybody's interested and passionate in this, you know, we're talking about things just like this. We've been talking about the PATH program, Construct Reach. We've been talking about the programs that, you know, Dave and Chuck put on here. But it's fantastic to see this. But and we work on scholarships. We're looking at revamping the scholarship program to try to give the, you know, we talk a lot about the scholarship program and what we try to get out of it, whether it's just to give back, but even if it is, how do we give our industry more exposure to more people through the scholarship program, and meeting with schools, things like that. But really, there's only 4 active members on the workforce development committee, and we could use more because a lot of it's just ideas, just hearing what people are doing, and then being able to work on, because that's what we're kind of focused on right now. Like what's kind of our big push going to be, or what's sort of our mission, and just hearing things like what everyone's doing kind of gives a lot more ideas. And so if anybody is interested in joining the committee, we'll be passionate about it. Not a huge time commitment. We have you know, usually just an hour conference call every month, and then whatever, you know, each person kind of gets tasked with a few things in between. So, but it's, you know, there's only really 4 of us working on it, but yet this is the biggest topic I think that we talk about like every single board meeting. We look at it for our actual annual meeting. Should this be a topic we're talking about? So, you know, we know it's out there, and people are concerned and want to come up with ideas for it. So we'd love to have anybody that's interested in joining.
So Justin's gonna be at the door.
I'd suggest you get 2 beers into them.
Right, yeah, okay, I'll say this again in a little bit.
The other thing I can suggest you guys is that I'm sure everybody in their companies have not only your IT, but your you know, your websites, et cetera. How many people are using Snapchat? That's where the kids are watching everything. Good, bad, or indifferent, put good on it. You're catching people saying, that's interesting. That's kind of cool. We have superintendents that are putting stuff out on jobs kids are interested in. And it's not the high school kids, it's the younger kids. Make it fun. Every way imaginable, make it fun. And most of them are way more quicker on these phones than I am. And all the stuff they put on them are used. Look, you have to expose us in the construction industry everywhere. And if you don't know how to do it, bring in one of your employees' kids, they'll show you.
Yeah. Do any of the companies in here have interns that you sponsor in the summers from high schools to be in the trades at all? So that's one thing that's come up a lot in our discussions, and why not?
We do.
We ask ourselves that as well.
We do, but the where you run into problems is 18 years old to be on those sites. That's where we run into problems. So we actually take them through the shop, to the office, try to expose them to it.
Question, Jeff. I have a question for the companies that are running these large initiatives from a finance side. Do you as a company set up a foundation, a nonprofit? Do you work with a foundation or a nonprofit? I know the last gentleman said that they got money to create their foundation to get money into the community. But if you're a private business, do you just expense it? or especially the one that Saxy is doing, it takes an enormous amount of labor, an enormous amount of money to put those programs on. You know, how do you fund that in your business? You know, to keep that going, and or, you know, you make a commitment every year that we're gonna give X amount back as part of your donation program, how do you guys?
It's a nonprofit.
And you set up a nonprofit division of your company?
It's totally separate.
Totally separate, okay, but you actually fund it and then expense it?
It's funded by multiple contractors, suppliers, donations, etc.
So it's not your company's, it's your initiative, but you
Right.
have set it up together. What about Saxby's? Is it a foundation within the company?
They all left.
No, here, just asking, sorry. So our first year, I mentioned that we were going to we had a budget put aside for our 25th anniversary, and we're gonna have a huge party. So we had this budget put aside, and that was perfect. We spent the money on this, and this was a $25,000 event that we were putting on. And the second year, we realized, wait a second, if we wanna grow this, how is this going to self-sustain? So every year, we host a golf outing. And we just hosted our golf outing last week. And the golf outing supports two different organizations, the Downtown Boxing Gym and Junior Achievement of Southeastern Michigan. So this year, the golf outing netted close to $250,000. We were able to give $125,000 to the Downtown Boxing Gym and $125,000 to Junior Achievement. Junior Achievement takes that money and puts it in escrow for us. And every year, our budget for the Sachse Construction Academy comes out of the Junior Achievement not-for-profit.
So you make a donation.
Correct.
You don't set up your own foundation or your own nonprofit, but you're working with Junior Achievement on that initiative. So
Exactly.
we're gonna donate money, but you're gonna help us run our initiative.
Exactly.
Thank you.
That's
What
how
I
it
was,
works.
because a lot of times you get in the weeds with things, you wanna do something and you're doing something good, and then you realize like, that financially, that was the wrong way to do it.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm just curious on how that works, and, you know, the whole liability, and the gentleman said something about anybody, you know, younger. You know, the whole under 18 thing gets to be an issue too. Putting somebody on a bus, taking them to a job site, and try to do something with a school, and then they were like, well, do you have insurance, do you have this, do you have that? It's like, well, we're just gonna pick the kids up and take them to the construction site. And show them some of our designs, and then it was like, we couldn't even execute it, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of certificate of insurances and
Yeah.
insurance waivers, and there's a lot of paperwork
Exactly,
involved
so
in this.
I'm just curious to see how everybody keeps that momentum going with the finance side.
We figured it out along the way as we grew.
I think a lot of that as well is the volunteer aspect of it. So, you know, when we hire people for their core values. And one of them is that they don't have a problem with giving back to the community. That's something that they like to do. And even though sometimes it takes some of the hours away from some of the things they would be doing at work, most of those hours that they spend are above and beyond what they would do at work, because that's something they want to do. They want to give back to the community. And if you create that aspect, you know, and you get volunteers, you're gonna go a lot farther. It takes a lot of volunteers.
A lot of volunteers. I just want to bring one full circle moment back. When we host the Sachse Construction Academy, the kids are really excited to talk to the trade partners that own the companies. And these are the guys that have been doing this for many, many years and making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And that's what these kids want to do. They don't want to swing a hammer. They ultimately want to have their own company. And that's one of the reasons that Jeff and I wanted to bring Jason from the Motor City Contractor Fund here to talk to you all. Because in order to kind of get these kids to get started in the skilled trades and hopefully put them on a path to own their own company, then we have to hire them and hire their companies. And that's what the Motor City Contractor Fund is doing, helping them have, you know, all the information they need and all the funding they need to get bonded. And I think it's our responsibility to get them to that next place and hire them. So Jason, can you stick around for a while? So please talk to Jason and learn more about it. It's an amazing program. Saxy's participated in it, and I think you'll all get a lot out of talking to him.
The list of the contractors on the website, how do you get access to who the contractors are?
So that's a very good question. We've been asked that many times, and so we're trying to work through the legalities of it to ensure that we can share that data. And so Hopefully we'll have that figured out within the next week or so. So then therefore it'll be either published online or we'll be able to just take the inquiry and then email that list out.
I can add some stuff that we do. I actually go to the high schools myself. I do some of the training, so the next month I focus a lot on the beginning of the year with a lot of the kids. So I go talk to all the classes in their trades programs, whatever I can get into. And I also do it in May, right before the end of the year. I target them. I do a lot of career fairs. We set up a lot of things like you guys are talking. We have a lot of smaller ones in our community that I actually go to, work with all of them. We do take interns from the tech college. Through the year, we work really well with them. Usually try taking 10 students in about that really want to be in the trades, and we put them through different programs. They can work part-time for us when they're in school, when they're out of school. And then we also take high school kids in as interns, at least get them in the offices, get them in areas doing miscellaneous projects, because it starts talking to everybody. And at least with our company, most of it's people like me. I was in the field for many years, and they get to know the steps that you can actually take to get to this level. And it puts them in contact with different questions on things they have, want to know about. So,
how many high schools do you do?
High schools, we do the immediate area, about probably 15.
Yeah.
So we expand out, but it's kind of off of David, whatever David kind of wants, how far he wants to go, because one of our things is the high schools, they have to be able to drive to us. Yeah. And that's where we can't get too far away, because they can't take a half day of school and someone will make it to our office. So that was a little more of a struggle. I had 4 of them last year that I worked with every single Friday. They came in, and that was a chore for myself, trying to come up with projects and things to do. And I literally just had them build boxes. We just did different things, different programs, and took them in the wood shop. We did different things, and they enjoyed it. I got to go to different job sites a little bit and show them around a little. I mean, whatever I could sneak into. We have like our ceiling division. So you guys working in a strip mall or anywhere? Just sneak on in and help out a little bit, take a room and just do something with them. And so I was able to do some of that stuff.
I was gonna say, I go into the schools, I have more CrossFit shops on board, but I got to meet all the schools because we're pulling in all the rec guys that eventually gonna go into high school and play varsity sports. So that's why I always went, did they grade, as being on the board, I had 300 kids, and I could always plant the seed with the parents, but getting into the school is the most important thing that you can do. Whether it's not just telling your story, hey, get in construction, or do this or that. What I was gonna say is these presentations are unbelievable. I'm a publisher, so I'm all about content. And Jeff, look, we do the newsletter and that, but I really think that you should put a column in the magazine and call it skill trades. It could be promoted by RCA or what have you, and have these gentlemen or Denise or whatever tell their story of how they're going about doing their gig. It could be a monthly column, which on a podcast, or I'm a digital guy these days, so I'm all about content, but driving it. And like I said, I lived it through my son. So those presentations were awesome. I mean, Home Depot, the Detroit thing, you really have it. You have a meeting standing right here where you can get the word out, not only from the RCA as you build it for them. That's what our plan is, but also to drive that word across the country with other contractors that aren't members. And there might be people out there that you don't even know that are doing that stuff. But I didn't even know that a lot of the stuff was even going on. And Home Depot's right in, Jason, you're right in my hometown, so, but all the stuff can be put in there and you can plant that seed. But I urge everybody, whenever there's a career day, you all have kids and they're in sports or whatever, you can find out when those career days are. Just go out there and tell them your story. It just takes one kid and then they tell their friends, oh yeah, I went for this and that. They're not teaching us stuff from school. Shop class is my favorite thing when I was in elementary school. Wait, I'm giving my age away, but so that's all I have to say. But that you guys can talk with Eric. You guys have a board meeting. You can discuss it. I'll give you the space because that's awesome.
Jeff, I'm sure you'll share all these slides with the attendees or put it on the website too, right?
Yeah, so again, this was on Zoom, it's been recorded too, so we'll have the recording with a link on the RCA website. I'll also get the presentations and we'll get them out and then do that, so absolutely. Yeah, we can look to try and do something semi-regularly with Dave, have an RCA, something, figure something out.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak for Justin, but once he has the 10 additional committee members, the goal of the committee really in the RCA is over the next year to develop a roadmap that we can share with the rest of the member companies that basically helps them get a start. And all those lessons learned that you guys have experienced by setting all these up about insurance and all the things that none of us are probably even thinking about, we'll kind of try to have all that spelled out with the lessons learned so that it's a lot easier for somebody to stand up a program and maybe do it with a couple other member companies. So watch out for that in the coming months.
Is there any thoughts from the RCA standpoint of putting together where members can at least, like you've been raising funds for scholarship programs for years, maybe take more for these youth initiative programs, because I guess I had some of the same experiences with the recent college graduates that they come in really asking for the world and not having the things that you need as a company behind them yet. Really looking for somebody else to train them before I get them.
Yeah. I think they're reading our minds a little.
It just seems like if we could, step back to a earlier level in school and start inspiring people to get in the trades, maybe money better spent.
Well, Justin could probably speak on this a little bit too, but that is a shift we're making, is that the scholarships all pretty much went 100% towards college previously, and we're trying to shift some of that to trade schools and other avenues now so that it's more dispersed and representative of what our needs are as members.
Our industry, yeah.
At that point, we all go to Specs, Centerville, all these different places, and we talk about it, but we really don't find a way to promote it. Maybe that's something that we can start looking at in the future too, is a way to promote ourselves or promote the trades at those conferences.
So one interesting note on that, with Centerville, you mentioned Centerville, you will see soon, it's probably on the website now, but so RCA is the primary sponsor of Centerville Conference this year. So we have stepped up, Eric and the leadership team made the decision, and we are the primary sponsor. So the RCA name and logo will be on everyone's lanyard, on every screen. We're the primary top sponsor at the Centerville Conference. So it's acknowledged it. And again, so from that level to having these meetings to getting, there are members here who probably are at some of our events who hadn't done things in years. Milwaukee, we had someone from a company, and he was, I said, you haven't come, I haven't seen your company in any events or anything. And it was just something, he's like, oh, my parents own the company, but now I'm starting to get involved. I said, well, fantastic, and this is who we are at RCA, and bringing them in. So we're really trying to expose more member companies, get more involved and get the word out about RCA. Any other questions, topics to discuss? Everyone ready for some refreshments? We do have open bar, appetizers and hors d'oeuvres. So I'll have that reception out here. A couple of just housekeeping things. So I mentioned Centerville again. RCA is a sponsor. We will have a members reception on Tuesday night, the 28th, I think that is. So that you'll see information about that coming up. One additional regional event in Los Angeles, the SoFi Stadium Tour, October 26th. And also a plug for the annual meeting. The annual meeting registration is available on the RCA website. I don't think there's been an email out about it, but the registration is live. Specs has put their email out. That registration for the Specs conference is there. So you can do that, but the RCA annual meeting is available. The team, Eric, Justin, and others are hard at work putting together another great program. We're going to be another good meeting. We had 120, 110 people this past year.
More than that. It's almost 160.
Was it that many? So fantastic attendance. I mean, it's been great. So encourage everyone to come the extra day or two early ahead of specs.
No cost,
No,
bring as many people from your company as you want. We encourage you to bring a good cross-section of your company, superintendents, project managers.
superintendent training will be going on the day before and that day, so your superintendents then can come over and take part in the annual meeting. So I encourage everyone to come out and attend the annual meeting. Again, Home Depot benefit for all members. Everyone gets their rebate, which is a fantastic benefit unto itself. It pretty much, for as far as I know, every company participates in, they make the rebate exceeds the annual membership fee in RCA. So it's kind of like RCA is free because you get a Home Depot rebate if you do it, and almost everyone does, it does. But there's more to the membership benefits even within Home Depot, and the Path Pro program is a great resource. I didn't know about it. Jason and I started talking about it earlier this year, or at the annual meeting or afterwards, and I had no idea it was there, and so we're really trying to get that word out, and so take advantage of that. And then parking, everyone, if you parked in the parking garage and you got your ticket when you came in, you should have got a validation, or could have gotten a validation coupon at the desk. If you didn't, make sure you still see Jill or someone on Saxy, and you scan your ticket first, and then the validation ticket. You'll get the parking is covered, RCA is covering the cost of the parking, so we're taking care of that, so. And with that, any other last words, or Jill come up, but we have reception and hors d'oeuvres and drinks out here, and everyone enjoy.
Let's go.
Thank you. Thanks.